everybody, and welcome back to the weather statement. Today, we're talking about severe weather in parts of the Midwest and in the South. So let's dive right into this forecast, and I will tell you what to expect in these severe storms. So first of all, I wanna pay close attention to this area in the Midwest because the National Weather Service has just recently upgraded this area with an enhanced risk for severe weather, which stretches from the UP of Michigan through Wisconsin in parts of Iowa and Minnesota, especially bullseyed in Wisconsin. So this is our highest threat out of the whole country for severe weather. But we also have this slight risk in both areas of the Midwest and the South. And the slight risk in the South stretches from South Carolina all the way over into parts of Mississippi and down towards Florida. And then we have a marginal risk for severe weather stretching from Florida all the way up towards New York. And this is one of the systems that will be bringing severe weather. But the second one is going to pack more of a punch. This second one in parts of the Midwest, as I've said before in this video so far, the enhanced risk is this orange shaded area, and it stretches from the UP down towards Minnesota and Iowa. And then we have the slight risk back again in the UP, and then back down into Missouri. And then the marginal risk stretches from a little bit of Colorado down towards Missouri, back up into Michigan and the UP. One of the things I really want to drive at is that these storms are starting up very easily from heat. We're having a very big heat wave in this area of the country that's from Michigan, Wisconsin, down all the way into parts of Florida. This is a very large area of heat, and this heat is driving the storms. And anywhere where you see this this orange shaded area, that is a heat advisory. The pink shaded area, that is an excessive heat warning. So if you live anywhere in these areas, you're going to be experiencing very high temperatures of in the 90s, and some places even getting into the 100 degrees, the century mark. So anywhere in this area, it's going to be extremely hot, and you'll want to take very much caution if you live in this area of the country. But this is what's driving these storms, and this is one of the fuels for these storms. So this is the setup. We have this low pressure, which is up towards Minnesota. This is Tuesday night into Wednesday. This low pressure is currently up in parts of Minnesota, bringing severe weather and possible tornadoes up there. And then this blue line that I've indicated here, this is the cold front, and this red line is the warm front. The warm front has lifted northwards, which has brought all this heat up from the south, which is driving it in this area of the warm front and the cold front. And that is making very unstable air. And you can kind of see, if I put my mouse on it, that you can see behind the cold front it is much cooler, and in front of it it's in the 90s and even 100s down towards the south. So this is a very hot and unstable air mass for severe weather. And when you get these two fronts that collide or are very close together, you'll have a very strong storm system that can produce very large tornadoes, very large damaging winds, and large hail. So this is the setup for these storms, and this is another way these storms are getting fueled by the heat and these warm and cold fronts. Another thing that is driving these storms is how much this is the humidity. So the dew point actually. So this shows how high your how much moisture is basically in the atmosphere. So just looking at this, you can see the 70s of moisture level, the dew point, is in the 70s. So that is very saturated air and very muggy air. So that's why they have all these warnings and of advisories out, because you're on top of the 90s and century mark 100s. You have this very muggy air that is sitting over this area of the country, which is getting fueled up from the Gulf by these south winds, and it is bringing up all this muggy air, and it is another ingredient for this severe weather. And uh, it's one of the main things you need for severe weather. You need moisture, and there is plenty of it in this area of the country through Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota and Iowa. There's plenty of that moisture for these storms to fuel off of. So that's like the third thing these storms are fueling off of for them to become severe. So now here is the damaging wind outlook. This is a very once again focused in parts of the Midwest, in Wisconsin, the UP, Minnesota, Iowa, parts of Illinois have this slight risk, and then down towards the south for damaging winds, there's a 15% chance. So the yellow is 15, the red is 30, and the green is 5. So once you get higher up in the colors, it's more intense and more severe your weather can be. And then we have this marginal or 5% chance that stretches up into New York State, and down towards Florida. And then once again here from Kansas up into Michigan. So this is the area I'm really focused in on for damaging winds. Especially in this red shaded area, you can expect some very damaging winds. But also down towards the south, you can see some pretty powerful winds as well. This is one of the main things this storm is going to produce, some very large hail. As I have it right here, 2-inch or larger hail in this checkered shaded area. That is a significant threat on top of this 30% chance for damaging hail. So once again, we're really focused in this part of the Midwest for damaging hail. But as you look to the south, there's that chance for damaging hail in parts of Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and Alabama. And then that marginal or 5% risk stretches the same area from New York down towards Florida. And then when we look towards the Midwest, another area to look is in this yellow shaded area. We're looking at through Iowa back into Michigan. So once again, we're really focused in on this red and checkered shaded area for very large 2-inch or larger hail. That's very large hail. So you please take your stuff inside if you live in any of these areas of risks. But especially in this red shaded area, this is going to be an evening time storm and overnight in parts of the Midwest. So just take any valuable stuff inside that could get damaged by this hail or damaging winds. Just be prepared for these storms as they come through your areas. Another significant threat is the tornado outlook. The National Weather Service has put out this this a significant threat once again for tornadoes. An EF2 tornado or greater you could have anywhere in this checkered shaded area. So, yeah, very high this is a very high threat for tornadoes. It in this checkered shaded area. And as I said before, we have this cold front about through there, and then the warm front. So it's very unstable in that area, and it's possible to produce EF2 or greater tornadoes in this checkered shaded area. And then once again, we have a 5% and a 2% risk in this brown and green shaded area. And then you look towards the south in these storms to the south, and the National Weather Service is not anticipating any tornadoes in this part of the south. Well, guys, you've made it to the end of my video, so thank you guys for watching. If you live in any of these areas that you have a chance for severe weather, please be able to get warnings for these storms, especially if you live in the Midwest, with these storms going overnight and late in the evening, and you could be sleeping or other things could be happening. So just make sure you can get alerts. Bring in anything that could get blown away or get tossed up by a possible tornado if you have one, and get damaged by hail, especially your vehicles. Bring them in if you can. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you in my next video.